What's going on YouTube, it's Jason, and today I'm going to be speaking about how to lose fat and build muscle at the same time. Now before I get into this video, I just want to be a typical Brit and just moan about the weather. It's like 30 degrees here, and before you sit back and say, oh, 30 degrees is not that hot, it is so humid, my vest is sticking to my back and I'm sweating, so please bear with me. So the fancy name for losing fat and building muscle at the same time is also known as body recomposition, and believe it or not, this is a hugely contested topic in the fitness industry. On one side of the fence you have people that say body recomposition can't be done, you either need to commit to muscle building or fat loss as a goal. And on the other side of the fence you have people that swear by it, push it on people as the only way to go, and make millions from it. So what side of the fence do I sit on? Well, I sit with the science, and there are numerous studies out there that show it can be done. The real questions to ask, and what I'm going to address in this video, is body recomposition for everyone, or are there certain groups that can recomp more easily? Number two, is it an efficient way to lose fat and build muscle? And finally, if you decide this is your goal, how do you go about it and what do you need to be aware of? So let's get straight into it. Can anyone achieve body recomposition, or is it for a select group of people? Well, in theory, anyone can achieve body recomposition to some degree, but there are definitely certain groups who have a huge advantage when it comes to this. The first group are people that are new to resistance training. So these are beginners typically in the first 6 to 12 months of their training journey, or people that are going through the motions. I always point out that the 6 to 12 month window assumes you're doing things correctly. If you're faffing around in the gym, that period of time could become 2 or even 3 years. But the key to note here is that if you are being a halfway Harry, you're not going to make more gains over that 3-year period. You will just end up getting the same gains you would have got in a year. The second group of people are intermediate trainers, so people that have been training for 2 to 3 years properly. Now again, these guys can't recomp as effectively as beginners, but they can recomp to some degree. The third group are people with a higher body fat percentage. So let's say a man over 20% body fat and a woman over 30% body fat. Essentially, because these people have a bit more fat to play with, the body can use their fat stores as energy for muscle building. The fourth group is advanced trainees. Now, contrary to popular belief, you can still build muscle and lose fat at the same time if you're advanced. When I say advanced, I'm talking 5+ years of proper training experience. But there is a catch, and the catch is you are an advanced trainee, but you've had time off training and you're returning to training. So as an advanced trainee who's making a return to training after some time off, the body can achieve recomposition while you try to recover your muscle mass. But in 99% of cases, if you're advanced and you've been consistent, don't bother. Not don't bother, you can do it, but the results are going to be negligible. And the fifth group, and I have to make a special mention for these people, are steroid users. People that take steroids while on cycle can build muscle and lose fat at the same time, and can continue to do so. And unfortunately, some of these people that stay lean all the time and push body recomposition on natural trainees are themselves unnatural. Now of course, I'm not going to name drop, but if you see someone looking shredded all the time and continually building muscle, raise an eyebrow. So moving swiftly on, is building muscle and losing fat at the same time an efficient way to do things? Absolutely not. The groups I mentioned can achieve body recomposition better than others, but they would still progress slower than just committing to muscle building or just committing to fat loss. Outside these groups, is body recomposition possible? Yes, but the results are going to be painfully slow. Like slow, as in you may have received your pension and spent it before you finish recomping. So all that being said, if you decide that you want to lose fat and build muscle at the same time, how do you go about it? The first thing is to create a calorie deficit. Now this is when you have less energy than the body needs to maintain itself. Now although this is often positioned as you need to consume less, you can either consume less or burn more, or a bit of both. It's probably the most efficient to do a bit of both. Now with body recomposition, because we have one eye on fat loss and one on muscle building, we don't want to have our calories too low. In terms of numbers and the size of your deficit, I would say somewhere between 10 and 15% below maintenance. So if you need 2000 calories to maintain your body weight, I would shoot for about 1800 calories, and if you need 3000, shoot for about 2700. The second thing is that you need to provide your body with a proper training stimulus, i.e. lifting weights and proper resistance training. If you're not getting stronger and applying what's called progressive overload, your muscles have no reason to grow. So you can jump around your living room all you like doing HIIT, but in terms of muscle growth, nothing's really gonna happen. Not with body weight HIIT anyway. The third thing is that you need to consume sufficient protein. When you reduce your calorie intake, your muscle is at the highest risk of being lost because, as I mentioned, it's more metabolically expensive to keep it. And the final thing is sleep and recovery. Now, sleep is an often overlooked point when it comes to achieving a better body composition. But if you're not sleeping, studies show you are far more likely to lose more of your weight in muscle. As in, two people losing weight at the same rate, studies have shown that the person who is sleeping less, like 5 to 6 hours a night, can lose 60% of their weight in muscle mass versus the other person. So that's how to do it. Lastly, what do we need to be aware of? Well, the first thing is that you can't continue to recomp forever. Some people that push body recomposition as the only way to go make it seem as though you can continue to lose fat and build muscle at the same time forever until you become a men's health model. That simply is not the case. Your body is built for survival. So once your body deems that you have a decent level of muscle mass and your body fat is low enough, let's say 15% for a man or 25% for a woman, it doesn't care whether or not you look like your favorite fitness influencer, it's fine, it's done. So once things have reached that point, you would need to commit to one goal, either muscle building or fat loss, unless of course you want to experience painfully slow results. And that leads me on to my last point, and that is motivation. Whether we like it or not, as human beings, we are so fickle. If we're not seeing any return for our investment, we tend to give up. Imagine working at a job for like 10 years and never getting recognized, never getting any pay rises. How much longer are you going to stay there? And it's no different to your fitness journey. When a person is trying to build muscle and lose fat at the same time, I often describe it as being like a 6 to 7 out of 10 in both the muscle building camp and the fat loss camp. You can do it in the scenarios I mentioned, but you're still going to achieve results far less than going 10 out of 10 with muscle building or 10 out of 10 with fat loss. So bear in mind that if you do commit to body recomposition, the vast majority of people won't be seeing results week to week or even month to month, like you will be seeing it over 3, 6 and 9 months. And if you're ready to train for 3 to 4 months without seeing anything, then be my guest. If you want to get to your goal as fast as possible, I would always recommend committing to one goal. So that's it. Hope you found this video helpful, and hopefully my sound was better than the last video. Don't forget to leave a comment below, please subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.